And now we take you back to the story about the Pan-African Parliament sitting in Midrand, today expected to elect new leadership after a strong tongue lashing from the African Union Commission chairperson Musa Faki Mahamat. Last year, the Parliament couldn't elect new leadership after the proceedings descended into chaos when MPs differed on the principle of rotation in the 5 regions. Khayelihle Khumalo has been following this story for us. Kaya, do you have a sense already if proceedings will be going smoothly today?
Well, that's right, Desiree. So it's going to be the moment of truth today as the Pan-African Parliament members will have an opportunity once again to redeem themselves, to try and elect the new leadership, the vice president. So it is crunch time, you know, where we are positioned. There are banners up, and there has been a lot of really horse trading being done behind the scenes, where the candidates from so many regions really have been conversing and appealing to fellow members, trying to win their hearts, so to speak. But also the center here is the issue around rotation. We do know that this was a bone of contention that really saw the House descending into chaos last year. But a lot of MPs they're really reassuring themselves that this time things will be very different, because now they want to refocus. They're talking about so many priorities. But let's try and get the views from the MPs from Botswana. Of course, thank you so much indeed, Mr. Khayelihle. Let's talk about today. Obviously, it's going to be an acid test for the MPs as they'll be electing the new leadership. From your perspective, sir, is everything ready?
Everything is more than ready. It's not ready. Everything's more than ready. Tonight we want to have all the structures of the Pan-African Parliament, regardless of what. Yeah.
And obviously we saw the AU Commission Chair Musa Faki Mahamat really having a tongue-lashing reminder to the MPs, saying you should be the cream of the crop in the continent. You're representing the finest, as opposed to the scenes that we saw last year. Are the MPs really getting the gravity and the significance of the message from the mother body?
If you can notice one thing, you realize that most of the MPs are highly embarrassed about what happened really last year. So they don't want to see those things repeat itself this time around. Most of the MPs are very shameful of what really occurred in 2021. They don't want to see Africa to be in that space again. So this time around, we are here for the election, nothing else.
And just before I let you go, sir, what's the vision for you? You know, you represent Botswana, the neighbor to South Africa in the SADC region. For your country, why is it important to have you here coming and representing it here?
The most important thing is the country, they decide whom to send to Pan-African Parliament. By this time around, I'm among the 5 members who were selected to come and represent the Botswana in this Parliament. So the position that I'm holding is not my position, it's the country's position. So whatever I am uttering in this Parliament, I'm reflecting the position of Botswana.
All right, sir. Thank you so much indeed. Of course, Desiree, that's of course Mr. Khayelihle from Botswana. But of course, so many candidates really are still trying to seize the last few moments that are still remaining. And of course, the AU legal structure is going to be overseeing the elections. Of course, let's hear from Mr. Chihane, all the way from Malawi. Desiree, this is one of the candidates who has been really working so hard trying to win the hearts of the MPs. Sir, obviously today it's crunch time. How are you feeling now? Are you sure that you're going to emerge victorious?
Thank you. Good morning. Indeed, I'm Honorable Chihana, and very much excited that today, which is a very, very important day, having dropped and given the nomination forms. Definitely, I'm taking over the presidency from the former president, who was Roger Ankot. I'm very definite today.
Okay. Do you think there's unity now within the Southern African bloc? Mr. Chief Charumbira from Zimbabwe is still determined that he's also going to win. You're also saying from Southern Africa, I'm actually the right man. Are we still seeing these divisions prevailing?
Well, there are divisions. I don't know. The principle of rotation, which has been presented yesterday, according to yesterday's presentation, I'm the only candidate who is going to emerge as a candidate. So it's not a question of unity. It's a question of who is going to stand today. It is me. And I will be sole candidate for the Southern Caucus because rotation has been applied to all institutions of the AUC, and it doesn't spare any institution. And then apart from that, it also entails that all people or countries that have been in the bureau before must not stand. So it is very clear, and we should not blame the AUC. We had problems, but now it has been referred and it has been properly defined. So I am the candidate for Southern Caucus.
What about the persistent power challenges? Do you think that's not going to be a hindrance?
Today, the power challenges, I think, will be properly rectified because they are looking for a president of PAP, and the president of PAP is looking forward to how we can unite to solve the long-term problems of energy and all kinds of challenges which are associated with power.
And just before I let you go, sir, a very strong warning and words from the AU Commission Chair, Faki Mohammed, saying it's time for Southern Africa and North Africa to be given a chance, but also talking about how the events of last year really tarnished the image of this institution. Do you think it's time to redeem yourself as one of the MPs, as one of the people, who are part and parcel of those events?
Thank you. I think those words from Mustafaki were very, very, very important. I think that is why the whole continent is looking forward to me, Honorable Khayelihle Khumalo, as the next president, because I'm going to bring harmony, unity, and indeed proper integration, and all the ratifications that are delaying will be properly done, and also institute offices in all regional caucuses for us to fast track the ratification. The real president has now come to solve the problem, and both social and the administrative structures which have been lacking at PAP. And we need to look at the functional entity of PAP so that the image should be reflected properly. For your information, I'm not just Honorable Chairman, I'm a person with a lot of credentials. I have masters in business administration from Maastricht School of Management, vast knowledge. I am an economist, and I've done law for 3 years at the University of Reading. I'm a land economist. This is not a simple person. Studying economics of land development and planning, that is not easy. We're doing an MBA at Maastricht School of Management amongst all potential European Union students. It's not easy. And I'm also, from my first degree, I have BSc in mathematics, physics and electronics. Okay. I'm a complete person ready to govern this PAP.
Of course, sir. Thank you so much indeed, sir. Of course, Mr. Chihana really gloating about his credentials and saying, Desiree, that he's really fit and proper. And we're going to see how it's going to pan out, given, of course, some of the divisions really that are still prevailing. But most of the MPs are quite adamant that this time around it's going to be a turning point. They'll be able to have a new leadership installed with the swearing-in ceremony that will take place once the election has been concluded.